Welcome back in more local news. A hunger strike was launched today in protest of the lockdown at the Baduralia hospital.
The hospital was shut down by doctors and staff 5 days ago who claimed that they had been threatened by a group of persons who had brought a patient to the hospital.
A group of area residents commenced this hunger strike opposite the Baduralia bus stop. Parliamentarian Palita Thevaraperima is also participating in the hunger strike. The hunger strikers are demanding that the Baduralia hospital be reopened immediately. Meanwhile, a group of area residents staged a protest opposite the Baduralia hospital this morning. A petition calling on authorities to immediately reopen the Baduralia hospital was also signed at the demonstration.
If a patient is admitted, then most of the time at the Baduralia hospital, they write a death certificate.
A relative of mine was brought here at about 12:30 at night. They reprimanded us, saying that they could not stay awake and give treatment.
A patient came in at about midnight once. Without conducting a proper examination, they pronounced him dead. When we took the patient to the Nagoda hospital, they said it was low sugar, and within an hour, he was well again.
I went to hospital to get medicines for my sick child. They wouldn't write prescriptions. There were no doctors. I was in extreme pain and I came to get medicine. They put me out and closed the door.
When the doctors go on strike, the nurses are working. When the nurses go on strike, the doctors are working. The situation at the Baduralia hospital now is that everyone has closed the hospital, handed over the key to someone and left. Can a public hospital be closed down for 5 days? I ask what the law in this country is. If someone has made a mistake, then they must be punished and the hospital must continue operations. The hospital has been closed down because he was allegedly threatened. There isn't even a complaint that he has been threatened. The man is also missing. If he was threatened, then there is the police to investigate. There is a court to issue a verdict. Instead of going to the court or to the police, for no reason at all, he has closed this hospital down in an ad hoc fashion.
The Baduralia hospital has been closed since Saturday owing to an incident where a group of persons who had brought a patient to the hospital for treatment are alleged to have threatened the hospital staff.
When we took him to the hospital, there was no one there. It appeared abandoned. I shouted asking who was here. After about 5 minutes, a minor staffer came there and I asked him who the responsible official is. He said the DMO was in his quarters. He left and returned with him about 45 minutes later. I went forward and asked him why he was late and shouldn't he be here when a sick patient is brought in. Afterwards, they took him to the ward. After they went to the ward, police officers came here and then they assaulted me and dragged me out. This is not a mistake on the part of the entire hospital. This is to do with a single individual. The other thing is, I believe this is the first time that a hospital has been closed down in Sri Lanka by a DMO, as if it were a shop. There is no complaint against me as yet.
In-house patients were transferred to the Kaluthara General Hospital.
The police have informed us that a police post can be established there and that a 119 vehicle can be located here. They will not allow anyone to enter the hospital. The police have given us this guarantee. But the doctors are of the view that a doctor's life must not be endangered. And they want us to take full responsibility as the administration. We said that we are prepared to take on that responsibility. The police officers have said that they can provide security. Even the villagers have said that they will provide security. The Government United Nurses Union has said they are willing to work if security is provided. But the only thing is, a hospital cannot be run without doctors.
Area residents say that the closest alternative for patients who are being treated at the hospital is 20 kilometers away. Talks were held at the Baduralia hospital today under the patronage of the Divisional Director of Health. The hospital staff who participated in the talks did not wear their uniforms. They say that they will return to duty if their security is guaranteed. The time is 11 a.m. and I'm outside the outdoor patients department. As of this moment, none of the doctors nor the staff are here in uniform. Many doors at the hospital too are closed. We questioned Dr. Amal Harsha De Silva regarding the alleged incident where drunken individuals had entered the hospital and threatened the staff.
Definitely, this shows some weakness in terms of security. I do not accept that the police or that the OIC, they are made deliberate attempts. However, we have to accept that there has been some breakdown on the part of the police and in terms of security.
We also questioned the Western Province Health Services Director on whether the staff of the Badarulia Hospital had conferred with authorities prior to putting the hospital in lockdown.
No, in truth, there was no such discussion. They did not inform us in writing or orally that they were going to close the hospital. The legal power to do so is vested in the Ministry of Health and the Public Service Commission. We are also looking at whether they had reasonable cause to close down the hospital or whether they had other alternatives.
Still in local news, the police have received a complaint on an incident where a parliamentarian is alleged to have interfered and taken away a group of suspects who were detained by forest conservation officers in Rakwana.
The officers had detained the suspects on the charge of illegally operating a quarry.
The additional reserve warden in Rakwana has lodged a complaint with the Godakavela police station claiming that an MP had interfered to take away the suspects and had obstructed the duties of forest conservation officers. The other party in this incident claims that they were operating a licensed quarry. Senior DIG of the Saburagama province, Lalit Jayasinghe, has appointed a special police team on the instructions of the Inspector General of Police to conduct investigations into this matter.
I left the police station. I didn't see anyone under arrest, nor did attempt to release anyone. I did not park my vehicle inside the police station. I parked it on the road. I left by foot from the police station, got into my vehicle and returned home.
The suspects along with the equipment were brought to the Godakavela police station. When they were being detained, Rakwana district parliamentarian Ranjit Disoisa threatened the officials there, including myself. He told the officials to do whatever they wanted, but that he would take the suspects away. He released the suspects and took them away from the police station.
මේක නිත්‍යානුකූලව තමයි මම පවත්වාගෙන යන්නේ. ගල්වල ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්තුමා ඒ සියලුම අවශ්‍ය ආයතන වලින් බලපත්‍ර ලබාගෙන තමයි මම මේක පවත්වාගෙන යන්නේ.
Meanwhile, 9 persons who allegedly dug for treasure illegally inside a private residence in Hingurayaya on the Abilipitia Bosrigam road were arrested at dawn today. The police media spokesperson says that a UPFM member of the Thanamavila Pradesh Sabha was among those arrested.
Now, in a much-related note, the police have commenced investigations to an incident where officers of the Valana Anti-Vice Squad were allegedly assaulted when they attempted to raid locations where illicit liquor sales were taking place.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana said that 2 suspects had been arrested in Angulana. A police sub-inspector had sustained minor injuries in the assault. The police said that patrols in the Angulana area have been intensified following the incident.
Now, in a story that is making headlines across the world but is also affecting Sri Lanka, the Ministry of External Affairs says steps have been taken to repatriate Sri Lankans who left South Sudan for Uganda owing to the violence there. Ministry Secretary Dr. Karunatilaka Amunugama says steps have been taken to repatriate them with the sponsorship of their employees.
Now, Newsfirst was able to contact one of the Sri Lankans who had left South Sudan for Uganda. Let's have a listen to what he has to say.
Our chairman visited us last night. He told us last night that he would convene a meeting today, but he has not come here as yet. We want this problem to be resolved and for us to be repatriated to Sri Lanka. He told us last night that he would return our deposits and prepare our tickets. We are not facing any trouble. We have been provided plenty of food and drink.
Well, here's what's coming up on Entertainment First tonight.
This is the story of a journey.
A journey towards the beginning, towards the spirit,
towards the soul.
Nirendra Deshapriya's debut film Tanha Rati Ranga to compete at the 6th Bengaluru International Film Festival.
in a soulless world.
Details on Entertainment First.